Dr. Second Chance here, thinking a lot about the whole idea of rising from the ashes like the phoenix bird in Greek mythology. Boy, do we all fail sometimes and have to get up and keep going. I'm going to drop a few quotes here uh, from some inspirational quotes, and I'm going to do it in a way that doesn't sound like I'm screaming at you. I don't know if you've ever noticed that some of the motivational videos seems like the person's just screaming at you the whole time. I get that as a style, but let's talk about a few ideas here and expound on them, and hopefully, stick with me as we go through 4 or 5 of these quotes. Hopefully, there'll be something there that encourages your heart, encourages you to keep going, because that's really what it's all about. So, anyways, here we go. So, one quote I really like is by Thomas Edison. Of course, he invented the light bulb and the phonograph and a bunch of other things as well. He says, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work." What a great way to look at trying something that doesn't work out. You learn from it, you document it, you add it to your lists of things that don't work so that you are closer to actually finding a way that does work. So yeah, I love that. I love that. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Of course, he had so many inventions that were successful and patents and whatnot. Another quote I really enjoy is by Napoleon Hill. He wrote Think and Grow Rich. "Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit." Wow, that is such a great way of looking at when things don't work out. What have you learned? What seed of greatness or um, idea for the future has been planted because you've tried something and it hasn't worked out? Coco Chanel, of course, involved with perfumes in the fashion industry. She said, "Success is most often achieved by those who don't know that failure is inevitable." I love this. The whole idea that success occurs when people just go after something without really any thought about that failure may happen. Just go do it and not worried about what happens. And of course, she was incredibly successful with her company, her fashions, her perfumes, etc. J.K. Rowling, of course, the author of the Harry Potter books and series, she wrote, "It is impossible to live without failing at something unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you have failed by default." Wow. Yeah. Like, never try anything that you might fail, and yeah, you can say, "Wow, I'm not a failure," but you haven't lived. And of course, her story, she wrote Harry Potter and it was rejected by most of the publishing companies in Britain. And it wasn't until she got to the last one that a small number of Harry Potter books were even published. And that only occurred because the CEO of the company that did publish her book showed the manuscript to his granddaughter, who thought it was really good, and because of that happened, Harry Potter happened all around the world. But boy, and Rollins talks about being on welfare, riding on a bus, barely having money to live before this series was ever popular. And so, Again, people going through hard times and keeping working at something until it finally produces results. Confucius, the Chinese philosopher, our greatest glory is not in never failing, but in rising every time we fail. And there is that Japanese samurai proverb, fall 7 times, rise 8 times. And Patton, the World War II famous general, success is measured by how high you bounce when you hit bottom. Success is measured by how high you bounce when you hit bottom. And since we're on historical figures, Thomas Roosevelt. It is hard to fail, but it is worse never to have tried to succeed. And I know this is hard after you're recovering from addiction, or maybe you've been in prison and released and trying to re enter society. But many people do. And, a shout out to the people that help others do that. If you've been through a really hard time like recovering from addiction, or getting back into society after being in prison or having a criminal record, thank you for helping others that are struggling. You have so much to share that's important. Please do it. It's vital to help others struggling, and in that help, you will find phenomenal learning and growth for yourself. There's nothing like the idea of helping somebody who's struggling with sobriety. If you're helping them, it'll help your sobriety. You will learn so much, and the service you provide to society is vital. Well, thank you. I have shared a few inspirational failure quotes about the whole idea of getting back up and to keep going. Be like the phoenix bird that rises from its ashes, to become stronger and better and more equipped for its next task in life in the journey. I hope you've enjoyed this brief selection of motivational quotes. I deeply wish you success for the future. Let me know in the comments. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell for the videos on this channel, Dr. Second Chance. Thank you for spending a few minutes. I hope you've got an idea or two that you can chew on for the future. We'll see you next time.